In the previous episode, we defeated the Wall of Flesh and entered hard mode, and now we got a bunch of hard mode stuff to do. I played a little bit in between episodes to kind of get some things worked out, and I made a little trophy tower. So we're gonna add another one of these because I also came and expanded my little area and made some houses. So this is more houses than I had set up, I believe. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I've got more than that here, but I'm not really intending for this to be like a primary living space for a bunch of our NPCs because, you know, we have other places in the world for them to live as well. So this is really just for new ones to be able to filter in as we do hard mode and all that. Anyway, it's just kind of a quick little house. You know, I will say on the topic of building, this particular series, I've not felt inspired. Right, I've just not felt the desire to build anything super cool like I have in previous series, and you know what? I think that's fine, because in future series, I'm sure I'll come up with cool ideas. But this just one particular series, I'm just like I'm not super inspired to build anything this time around. Ooh, but I do see some more blink root. Give me the blink root. Do I have any seeds? I don't. Now I do. There we go. Bam. Bam, give me it. Anyways, so I did that. I had to reconfigure down here because this is all corrupted and the NPCs decided they didn't want to live there anymore. So we moved them off over here, just kind of threw a couple houses down. I mean, I guess we could go take a quick look at that, right? Bam, there you go. They're all just over here. That's it. And I made just a quick little few houses over in the ocean, but I haven't been able to go over there since the last time I was over there, which basically is meaning that the NPCs weren't there before. So I'm gonna run over there real quick and we could get a pylon purchase and have one all ready for that. Okay, so there's also a couple things that we need to do. I found meteorite. You're going to see, we're going to come across the meteorite fairly quickly over here. And there it is. So I found it, dug it out to have it. There was a person who mentioned that I can make meteorite bullets. It's totally a thing I could do. I'm going to hold on to that for the moment because we can make the endless ammo pouch for meteorite bullets. So I may end up doing that instead of using them right now. So that was just, it's in my inventory to remind me that I've got meteorite to begin with. Of course, we need a crystal ball in order to do that, and I haven't found the mage guy yet, the wizard. Can I not buy a thing? Come on now. He doesn't want to sell me a pylon. He's not happy. He doesn't want to be here. He's like, why is the guide here? I hate the guide. It's nice, lots of privacy, I store my wares. I hate Ivan the angler, terrible personality. Maybe I move the angler real quick. Look, I'm not messing with that right now. We got other things to do today. We're going to work on getting our hard mode ores. And speaking of, I think that's the first thing we want to do. What are they called? Oh, wow. Why am I blanking on the name? Demonic altar? Can I make one? I should actually be able to make one, but it would be, man, what are they even called? Can I go to my map and just hover over this one over here? Why am I spacing on the name? Crimson altar. Wow. You think I would have gotten there. That was embarrassingly bad. Crimson altar. Boom, boom, boom. Let's make one of these. Pop these in here. Now, the reason I want to do that is because I think I've decided that I am going to use the pawn hammer to do the altar exterminator. So basically, we're just going to make our life so much easier. This is using Fargo's mutant mod. So it's going to pop that in there. I 100% recommend getting a Crimson altar just made so that way you can actually, or a corrupted altar, a demon altar. So that way you can actually just make the stuff that you need to using that as a table. Even though, you know, you could still make it, but if you're not using specific mods that give you that ability, don't necessarily do this because it's going to get rid of all of your demon altars and crimson altars. So let's see here. I just need to put that in there and then we could go to crimson. Wait, what was it called? Altar exterminator. Bam. Okay, so we're going to craft that. Now, the last time that I did this, Some of you may remember from the previous series where can I sell these owls? Someone had mentioned that you could sell owls for quite a bit of money. Let's check. Let's check the validity of that. 2 for 18 silver. That's not so bad. 9 silver a pop. I mean, I feel like I find them all the time. And I have the piggy bank over here because I still haven't gotten Chester. That's a whole other thing. We're not getting there today. Yeah, I think in the last series, actually I do want the meteorite in there. In the last series, we used this altar exterminator and like a billion wraiths showed up because of course when you break an altar, what spawns? Well, a wraith spawns. That's normal for the game. But I wasn't expecting like an army of undead, you know, like in was it Return of the King? Or was it the Two Towers? Oh, goodness. Whatever Lord of the Rings movie or book that if you prefer that way of consuming that media, which most people do. But when the undead army joins forces, I guess it is Return of the King, with Aragorn, and like they all show up and just like defeat a bunch of orcs and whatnot. Yeah, that's kind of what happened while we were playing Mod of Redemption. So I'm kind of expecting that, but I do not have any kind of setup to do this. Oh, and before I forget, you guys also let me know, thankfully, that because I had completely forgotten about this. If you click on the Eternia crystal, the dialogue, when you find the tavern keep, he will give you 5 of the medals. So I just went ahead and bought a lightning aura. So actually, you know what? Before we get like into it, you know, before we break all the altars, let's try this real quick. Just because it's gonna make my life a little easier. I'm gonna pop one here, and I don't have enough mana to do the other side. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this real quick, and we'll move on with our life afterwards. Hey, we did it. So I just set up a bunch of lightning fields from the monk weapon all across one side, and then did the other side with the other one. So yeah, makes it really easy when you focus on one side and then you use the Hellwing bow. So that would be my my tip for that particular thing. Now that we've defeated that, can we get the next stuff? No, okay, we have to move on with that. That's fine. I am gonna put the medals in here, I think. Yeah. I think that'd be easier. Okay, let's get rid of that stuff. I'm gonna sell that mount because there's no reason for me to use it. And then we're gonna destroy our world. Or so it's gonna seem. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, baby, here they come. There's so many wraiths. I don't understand. I mean, I get it, but like, maybe it is easier just to do the other and not worry about the army of wraiths that I then have to contend with. I don't have the weapons for this. I don't have any kind of AoE weapon. Can I even put one of these down? I guess I could. Maybe that helps a little bit. Wait, am I out of arrows? What happened to my arrows? Wait, what just happened to all my arrows? Am I crazy? Or did they all just like disappear? I had more arrows than that, right? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Well, I'm kind of screwed now. I only have so many options here. We're just gonna keep them in the lightning aura, which honestly is doing quite a bit of damage. So it's not like I can't really complain. It's working pretty well. Goodness. Yeah. That's a lot of wraiths. I remember it being a little bit easier as melee. Just because I had some kind of AoE. I don't have that luxury here. All right, here, let's pop one of these down here and just let them die. Actually, it's probably what I should have done before. Okay, and I finally got another life form analyzer too. That's something we had to turn in for a quest, so we're just gonna let that happen. I still gotta put the stellaglyph back down, stellaglyph rather. Put this stuff in my piggy bank. Yeah, maybe we'll go turn this in. Actually, I think we're just gonna go mine some ore and just kind of get that stuff out of the way. I think all of my NPCs died when that happened. I think they definitely did. But you know what? It's all fine now, right? It's all fine. It's all fine. I could probably get rid of those clocks. You know what? Let's also throw a Wraith banner down. If you didn't notice, I put like little banners on the edge there to give myself my passive buffs while I'm nearby. Right. Put that in there, and we'll put this in here. I think Spelunker is probably going to be the best way to do this, but I want to get this stuff first. And then let's go underground and find our ore. Man, that's a lot of ore right off the bat. It's like my first vein that I found, and it's a huge amount of palladium. I'll take it. I'm not going to really mess around too much with, like, I can't get this, right? So I need to recognize that it's there and then come back for it. But I'm not going to mess around too much getting a bunch of upgrades. I'm just going to go full on pickaxe upgrades. And then, what did our world get blessed with? Mithril. So, okay, so, do I want the, well, this is, oh my goodness, skeleton archers. Yes. I need the, the quiver. Wow, my brain is all over the place today. But essentially, I don't necessarily want to make the armor, with one exception. And that is, if I can get, die bat. If I can get mithril armor, and I know, right, you don't have to tell me. I just really like the look of the mithril. And even if I don't keep it long term, I'm not gonna go in there. There's so many bats. I think that it makes for pretty thumbnails, and that's just my personal preference. I know it like has no effect on the actual long-term progression of us, but I might use some mithril to make that. You know what? I've decided to also make the palladium reaper. Repeater. Wow, I don't know why I said reaper. Again, my mind is just like all over tonight. I think that will be pretty good. Just for dealing, because like those bats were really hard to kind of kill with what I had. So anything to make that slightly easier is going to be much nicer. I also have like 50 blink root at this point. I spent a lot of time earlier just kind of messing around, digging stuff and going back to base because I needed all the materials in order to make what I made from that little house. So I just kind of had some extra time, I think, to sit around the base and wait for blink root to grow. Not that I was intentionally doing it, it just kind of happened. With the mithril, we're going to need to make the, whatchamacallit, the anvil as quickly as possible, I think. But it should go fairly quick here. Man, I love these repeaters. They're so good. I've gathered quite a bit of adamantite already, but we're still not quite there yet. I'm only at 67. Like, I'm finding little pockets like this all over the place, but man, adamantite collecting is, I've said it before, right? I think the first couple times that you do hard mode in Terraria, it's awesome. You're like, oh yeah, it's like I'm starting all over again. But you do it enough and you're like, do I really feel like starting all over again? I don't know. I think the way Calamity did it was pretty good with their, I'm going to say their most recent update, but one of their latest updates. It's like the one before last, I believe. Basically, what they did is they made it so you got them, instead of all at once like this, and you just kind of go on a digging spree, which is essentially what we're doing, let's be honest. You instead go and defeat the mechanical bosses. So as you defeat the mechanical bosses, it unlocks each tier. So you defeat the first mechanical boss, you get the first tier. Now they made them a little easier progressively. So you start with an easier boss, but then as you kill one of the mechanical bosses, the rest of them become harder. So it like dynamically increases the difficulty, right? And then you gain access to the first tier. So then essentially what you're doing is actually using the ore. Where in this case, other than the repeater, I didn't craft anything with palladium except the pickaxe. And then same thing with mithril. Outside of the whatchamacallit, the anvil. I don't know why my brain is just having issues today. I didn't craft anything except the pickaxe. And that's all that you ever do anymore. Unless you're like really struggling, there's just no reason to waste the time. So that's why I think that the Calamity update was a fairly clever way. I saw that other thing of, oh, they want to talk to me. Interesting. Oh, you know what? While I was out and about, here, let's go back because I'm about to die. I'd rather not lose this spelunker. I've got a little bit left on it. What are we at? 145? That's not quite enough to do much. But where's our Hell Forge? Let's grab that. Let's pop that in there. Adamantite. Boom. Get that forge. Bam. I already had a couple in there. I forgot about that. We can do bars. Let's do that. 28. I could get the repeater. So let's go ahead and do that. Boom. Okay. And a tasty, which is not bad. But that will essentially give us that for a little bit. And then we can get our helmet, our ranged helmet, which again, I don't think is as pretty as the mithril. Like, look at this. Where is it? Look at the mage hat. I freaking love that thing. It's so cool. It reminds me of Diablo angels. Right. Let's go back down. No, I think I just lost my spelunker. That's fine. I saw a bunch of stuff there for adamantite, so we're going to go get that. But yeah, man, I can't believe I just died like that. Oh. There was one of you, I think it was in the comments, it was either on the comments or in the Discord, had pointed out that I did a dodge. I used one of the like damage dodge things that I have to prevent myself from dying in the previous episode, falling down like that. And you're absolutely right. That is exactly what happened. And the reason I know that's what happened is because in editing, I was watching it and I was like, oh, that makes more sense, because I had jumped down shortly thereafter that wall of flesh attempt and fell right there. I was like, why did I die there, but I didn't die before, right? Because I keep forgetting that I don't have a lucky horseshoe. I just haven't had one, right? So I was kind of confused about why I died, and then in editing, I looked and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. It all came back to me, that whole shadow dodge thing. I thought that was really funny. Oh, hey, look who we just found. Hey, get over here. We need one of these. The rest of your stuff, you can go away. I don't care about you anymore. I'm never going to speak to you again. Literally never going to speak to him again. In this series, I should say. Because he's got nothing else that I want. That was the only thing that I want. Because that one thing allows me to make my endless quivers and whatnot. So it's, oh, I can't believe I just ran into that. So it's gonna mean that we can get a bunch of infinite ammo, which apparently is gonna be important because I just like randomly ran out of ammo earlier. You know, I gotta go back and look at that in editing too and be like, why did I suddenly, because I thought I had like 500 ammo. Why did I suddenly just run out of ammo there? I'm not sure. I guess it's possible that I just ran out of ammo. I had used quite a bit on the old one's army, but I didn't think I used that much, you know? So it's a little concerning. Just where did it all go? Anyways, while I think that the hard mode ores are kind of a pain in the butt to get sometimes, I also do feel like the way that Calamity handles it makes it a lot better. And I really liked that. I thought it was fun to play with in that way. Then again, I've only done that now once, so you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt and be like, well, is it actually better? Or am I just going to end up feeling the same way about the hard mode ores that I do now, just in a very different approach to it? I don't know. Because right now, it just doesn't feel like I have fun getting hard mode ores. It's a chore, really, at the end of the day, where you're just trying to get enough adamantite, like I am now, to push through to the next phase, where then now you're powerful enough to actually do like hard mode bosses, or like start whatever hard mode boss that we just got from the spatial disc. And I think oh, there's some more adamantite there. I think that it's probably going to be fairly easy. I mean, honestly, it'll be what, our first boss? Yeah, from this mod. So we'll see how easy it ends up actually being, but my anticipation of it is that it's going to end up being very easy. Yeah. By the way, I have not forgotten about talking to the spatial disc. I'm just going to do that in a minute. You know, while I'm running over to the beach, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I have another essence for you. This weapon is a summon weapon. Why so many summons? Why so many summons? Looks to be a new essence for your use. It uses a unique damage type and powerful charge attacks, but will probably have some recoil damage. Right. I also want to get that weapon upgrade, but I'm not quite there yet. So essence of the ocean and then essence of gold. I have another one? No, wonder how her sister's faring. She's probably fine, right? She's probably fine. So let's see. This makes what? A summon weapon. A pretty easy summon weapon. Okay, what's that one? A pearlwood sword weapon. This is auric damage. Interesting. Hold left click to charge weapon. If the weapon is fully charged, the attack varies. Weapon has a unique damage type. Inherits bonuses from both melee and magic. That's kind of cool. It kind of... Oh, excuse me. I got like bad hiccups. I'm going to get rid of those in a moment. I'll edit them out. So I'm going to grab arrows. It kind of makes me want like some kind of paladin class for Terraria. I think that would be sick. That would actually be really, really cool. Right up my alley. All right, we got a bunch of arrows intentionally because we're going to come over here and we're going to pop them into here because we're going to go endless. We're going to get ourselves an endless quiver. Boom. Now we have infinite arrows. There are other endless quivers, right? So if I go endless, I can now get flame arrows if I want, which I probably will. Bone quiver, frostburn, cursed. Ooh, that's cool. Ichor, unholy, holy. I love the holy arrows. We're gonna need to get an endless holy arrows. They're so good. They're just so good. That's another thing. Even with the nerfs, using the dataless stormbow with, I like that the wizard's like out in the middle of nowhere, with the holy arrows is still one of the best ways to kill the destroyer. All right, let's go spelunker because I don't have any more, so we're gonna need to craft some. Oh, is that really? That's it. That's it. That's all I got. All right, that's fine. All right, I'm going back underground. We need just slightly more adamantite. So I'm really curious what you all have going on this week. I want to know. Why? Well, because for a lot of people, it's spring break. And even if you're not in school anymore, you know, a lot of people go on vacation and whatnot for spring break. And we don't have the 3 oldest kids, which is really nice. It's just me, my wife, and the little toddler, even though she's, because we let the other kids watch her, or rather, we insist that they watch her to get her off of our backs sometimes. And that's fairly helpful for keeping our sanity. So we're not constantly having to like micromanage our toddler. But they're gone for this week. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go down about 4 hours away. We got to drive about 4 hours, and we're going to go see my wife's extended family. So we're going to see her aunts and uncles, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We haven't seen them in like 2 years, which is crazy. Just because before we felt like we were living too far away, and now we're definitely living too far away, so it's got to like make a thing of it. I'm going to have to pre-record an episode and everything. Let's not get hit by that. In fact, I'm just going to teleport back down to here and just go a different direction, I think. Much adamantite. I picked up 80 with that. That's pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, we got a hotel. We're gonna go down and see them. It'll be a bunch of fun. And then this weekend, the Diablo 4 beta starts. I should clarify, not the open beta, the early access beta. So basically, if you pre-ordered, or if you're in the US and you went to KFC and you got a double down, you can get a beta key, which is just the weirdest thing. Sure, it's a fun marketing thing. So that starts, and then the weekend after, if you didn't get into the early access one, you can go play the open beta one the weekend after. The first one is going to have like the rogue, the sorcerer, wizard, whatever it is, and the mage person that I don't ever play. and the Barbarian. So you'll be able to play them 3 in the first like early access weekend, and then the second one you'll be able to play all of them. So it'll include the Necromancer and the Druid. Wow, that was hard to catch that butterfly and talk at the same time. It took a lot of focus. I don't know what's up with me today. I'm just like, I don't know. You know, actually I do know what it is. It's that daylight savings time. It's still catching up to me here. I hate daylight savings time. In the US, we still observe it, and it's really annoying. And not everywhere observes it rather, which is also really annoying. Like Arizona doesn't, parts of Arizona don't, which means that if you, this was always an issue actually, back when I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and we had people who lived in Arizona, because our times for raiding with them would suddenly change, because we would then either be at their time or an hour ahead. And yeah, it's if suddenly, you know, they're staying up an hour later or going to bed an hour, you know, earlier, depending on, I guess, with the way they look at it and the way that their schedule worked out, just meant that it was really hard to find people to actually raid with who were dealing with that. Anyways, I hate daylight savings time. I think that's what it is. Okay, we had one of our incentives for the house that we bought. They threw in a smart home package, and we didn't have to pay anything for it. Our house just got upgraded to a smart home, which means that they put a panel in, and there's like lights that you can control, and there's like the Ring doorbell thing. So when it rings, you've got the camera on it and stuff like that. I think that's enough adamantite. And we had the guy come by today for that, to install it. And he shows up, and I was like, oh, wow, you're early. And he goes, no, I'm not. He's like, it was anywhere between 12 and 2. It's exactly 12 o'clock. And I went, what? Sure enough, it was. I thought it was 11. I hate freaking daylight savings. It's the worst. All right, let's pop this on. So going from 60 armor, or defense rather, up to 77. That is a huge jump. The fact that we were still using bone armor, or the necro armor, is insane. So we have 25% chance not to consume ammo, and we get a bunch of damage. Plus, we now have an adamantite repeater and a pickaxe. Feeling pretty good here. Dump that in there. Get rid of all that. And all that. And then finally, the final thing we're going to do. We're going to put our portal here. And we're going to go turn this little quest thing in. Which I believe was that one. Hopefully this works. Crossing my fingers. I'm pretty sure it will. You never really know though. So I'm going to talk to her. Right click to talk. Yeah. If you have an accessory that can track nearby foes, it'd be quite interested in taking a peek, as they say. Could you hopefully locate one of those artifacts for me? Apologize in advance for the trouble. Right. I do have one. Can I give it to her? There we go. About time. Your timely arrival is much appreciated. Like 10 episodes later. It's not that long. This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. It took me that long to find a traveling merchant that had one. And then I remembered to also pick up the traveling merchant, just as an FYI. As promised, I've bequeathed... I've bequeathed a pouch containing a stellar foci. I have a regrettable habit of forgetting to label my creations, so this must do. Cool, so that gave me a pouch. While I do appreciate the eagerness, I still have yet to analyze the data you brought me. Okay, that's fine. So what do we got? Constitution focus, or foci. Perhaps return anon once progress has been made. 5 minutes of your time skill. Okay, so I need to come back in about 5 minutes. We'll do that in the next episode. So once placed near a stellaglyph, increases max HP by 5 and max mana by 10 during a cosmic voyage. Oh, and I still keep the thing. Okay, that's interesting. Cool. So I guess we're going to go put this down. It's a material. What's it a material for? Oh, for tier 2. But I need stellar foci base tier 2. How do I make that? Yeah. I need a tier 1 stellar foci base. And I make that. Hold on. Where's the tier 1? Tier 1. How do I make tier 1? I can literally make that back into place. Okay. Maybe we do that in the next episode, I think.